What a lovely first start that is from Patrick. Bullseye. For Boogaard.
85.
Had to get it in once.
And
Come
he
on.
requires
I like him.
68.
He's very measured today. This has got to go. Randy Bolton. Double two. Some
Game
dart.
shot on the fourth leg. Andy
Best leg of the
Bolton.
match.
6 again instead of 18 or even 9.
I think he was trying to be too perfect. Now, is that too close?
That
Game
is
shot on the
superb.
sixth leg. Andy Bolton.
Probably the only place in that double he was going to hit it with Patrick on a double.
Treble 18 leaves the ball.
99.
He's missed a match start now. Patrick will
Patrick,
get
you require
3
40.
more after missing 2 in the previous leg. Two tens for the methodical Dutchman.
Game
And he gets it on the
shot
last
and a
start as
match.
well.
Patrick van den Boogaard.
That's a hurtful loss for Andy Bolton, who gets off to a loss, whereas Patrick, who has barely slept in the last 24 hours, gets off with a win. As you can see, it was a bit of a squiffy affair at times, but that one is taken by 4 legs to 3 by Patrick. It
Yeah,
might
you
be
require
double
90.
15. You don't have to wait long, and look how good that bull was.
Game
Oh,
shot on the second leg. Yellow
Talk about
Klassen.
sharp. Forget about the double 10 in the top shot. The bullseye.
Bang in the middle.
Centre hole.
80.
Berry took this with 3 darts. Oh,
No score.
yellow.
Berry
What was he
requires
doing with that
76.
second dart? Was he just trying to hit the small 20 maybe?
I think he was, you know. I don't think he thought it was possible to get a dart around that dart that was just below the treble.
Game
Oh,
shot on
and
the
that
fourth
just
leg.
makes it even
Berry van
worse.
Peer. Yellow, you
Well,
require
they met
80.
in a Players' Championship. Didn't play again for another 5 years.
Game
I
shot
love
on
how
the
he
fifth
changed the
leg.
plan
Yellow
there.
Klassen.
Instead of going for the 60, he's decided to go for 2 double tops. And this time the third dart registers a leg win.
What an opportunity. 4 19s and ball.
Ooh, that's a nice collision.
79.
Now Klassen
Yellow,
can have
you
a crack
require
at the same
126.
shot.
Double 6. Bonus.
120.
Is this
Berry
going to be the
require
tail of Group C?
47.
Where everyone's going to get a match start in every match? Because that's what's happened so far. Double 16. It's
Game
Berry who
shot
takes
and a
it.
match. Berry van
And he
Peer.
gets off to a better start in Group C than Group A. Klassen will be disappointed because he did get a match start in leg 7. But ultimately, I think the biggest thing about that match was busting 80 when he did have the lead early. There you go. Match 2 is in the books. And it's Berry van Peer 4, Klassen 3.
Rishi
Do to
require
win this game.
138.
Yeah, and again, we looked at his numbers in qualifying. Oh, hello.
Game shot on the first leg. Reese Robinson.
I tell you what, I'd sign him up for my league team, and he would play number
Second leg, it's
one
Reese to throw
every
first.
week. One.
Rishi require
Often
40.
enough.
And that's got to be fixed really quickly. Because he's
Game
been
shot
done
and a
to
match.
nil in
Reece
his
Robinson.
first game. It's the worst performance in round 1 of the week for Reece Robinson. And he averaged over 95. They are the high standards that we judge him by. But he won't be too fussed because he's won his first game of the day to end round 1 by 4 legs to 0.
Require 80.
Double 10.
Game shot
How
on the
good
first
was that
leg.
from
Andy
Bolton?
Bolton.
Bullseye. Hot
Game
spot
shot on the second
for
leg.
Andy.
Andy Bolton.
2-0 lead as well. What's to do about that? Bullseye. First
89.
double missed.
Yellow, you require 64.
Long way off. Treble 16 for double 8.
Game shot on the
Oh,
fourth
that's
leg.
some dart.
Yellow Klassen.
From Yellow Klassen.
And he
He had
require
Idams at
121.
the same odds as Berry van Peer.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on,
Another dart
Andy.
at the ball. This
Oh.
time he
Game,
gets it.
shot, and a match.
And
Andy
wraps
Bolton.
up the match with a 12-darter on the ball. And in terms of his averages that are on screen, that is his highest he's ever produced, 101.69. Prior to that, this one, 104.68, a 1-2-1 finish, 4 out of 5, 80% on the doubles. And Andy Bolton is up and running. Up next, the very impressive Reece Robinson against Patrick van den Boogaard.
As for Robinson, 3 hits from 6. Wow.
Game, shot,
Another
and a match.
4-0 victory
Reece
for Sugar.
Robinson.
He is hitting everything that he goes for. It's a 92 average. It's just very, very good. And he sets up what could be a beautiful game with Andy Bolton in round 3. But before we get to that, let us end round 2 with Barry Van Peer and Rennie Idams after that one, where Robinson wins by 4-0 against Boogaard. That characteristic shaking of the right arm to relax it. Double 14
Game, shot
Well
on the fifth
done.
leg. Barry Van Peer.
of the 4th visit at double 12. It is
Game,
not a
shot,
12-dart
and a
leg.
match.
It's an
Barry Van
11.
Peer.
What a sprint to the end from Barry Van Peer. He could have done the last 2 legs in 22 darts. We'll have to settle for 2 visits that really did get the job done in fabulous fashion. He wins the last game of round 2 by 4-3, and he is very much in the reckoning here in Group C. We'll be back with more action just after 3 o'clock.
So hard to get into a winning position, and he's gifted an opportunity. Bullseye. And
Game,
he's
shot on the
taken that
first leg.
opportunity.
Reece Robinson.
A 15-dart breaker throw after 3 missed darts at doubles.
6.
To leave 159 after 6, just to say, you know what, I don't want a 9-darter. Andy wants double 18 though.
Double 9. Oh,
Game,
gets
shot on the
it.
third leg.
Back
Andy
to back
Bolton.
legs. Good response. Ooh,
Reece require
that is
108.
2 from 14. Could have won this 5-0. Never mind 4-0.
All the 18s. Oh
Game, shot on
no.
the fifth leg. Reece
Says Andy.
Robinson. Reece
Westy
require
back in
54.
action this evening. Don't forget, 10 p.m. Sporty Stuff TV.
Tops for Robinson.
Game,
Well, here's to
shot,
you, Mr.
and a
Robinson.
match. Reece Robinson.
Looking very good. 4-3 this time, not 4-0, but Andy Bolton will be cursing himself after all of those missed chances at the outer ring. 12 of them, as you can see. He had a very healthy average, but ultimately he couldn't break Robinson at the end, who was just too strong. When we come back, there will be Ella Klassen looking for his first points, alongside Idams, who's also looking for that.
It's in the previous
Yellow, you
game.
require 144.
Could be the story of the round. Oh, this would be so ironic.
Game,
Oh,
shot on the
my
fourth leg.
word.
Yellow
Some
Klassen.
Where has he plucked that from?
Some starts up in one visit, that, Nico.
Really was edgy.
Yellow, you require
It just goes to
60.
show if he'd left 96, he would have got 2 darts. Double 10. Wow,
Game,
what
shot,
a
and a
performance
match.
from
Yellow
Klassen.
Klassen.
Hangs on to the very end to win his first 2 points of the day. It's only an 80 average, but look at how many darts at double he had. 19. But ultimately, I think he got his first hit when it was the 14th. So it's been pretty good since leg 4. We will move forward in round 3 now, and it will be Barry Van Peer against Patrick van den Boogaard in an all-Dutch clash.
Think
Barry
to leave a
require
finish.
I think
124.
it's just getting into good habits.
Yeah, because, well, 9 times out of 10, your opponent will be on a finish at the level nowadays. This is beautiful.
Game, shot on the second leg. Barry Van Peer.
Another 4 on the end, Nico, in that one. He defeated Klassen and then had an opportunity to beat Robinson, and he went down 4-3.
Got an opportunity here, and he takes it on the
Game, shot on the
130.
third leg. Patrick
On the
Van den
bullseye
Boogaard.
for 2-1. Lower than a limbo dancer. The old 16s route.
Yeah, 48-36. Don't see that too often. But it worked.
Game, shot on the fourth leg.
This is a
Patrick Van den
really,
Boogaard.
really hot performance.
For English darts fans. is that they have plenty of representation tonight in Osborne, in West, in Littler.
38.
It's another
Berry
finish with a
Require,
4 on the end, Nico.
114.
Hold on to your hats. This is to stay in the match. Shaking out any kind of tension in the arm.
Still on. No longer. The undefeated streak
74.
on
Patrick,
Thursday
you require
should
40.
be shattered at 2. Very,
Game,
very
shot,
good.
And a match. Patrick
An
van den
average
Boogaard.
over 94. And the winner of week 11 gets the win over one of the fancied players here in Group C in Champions Week. And he thoroughly deserved it. He only missed one dart double in the whole match. And that was in that final visit where he took that double top for that 4-1 win. 3 rounds are now completed. And when we come back, it will be Rhys Robinson looking to continue his train of thought and of wins through Jelle Klaassen in Game 10, which is after this.
Require
You can't.
96.
You get found out.
And say what you like about his effort at 90, whether you think going for the bull first was the right thing to do or not. It doesn't
Game,
matter
shot on the
anymore.
full flag.
Because
Rhys
Robinson makes him pay for not taking it out.
40.
This is fast becoming Rhys's group.
He's done this twice already this week.
100.
Just tease up
Jelle
tops,
require
asking
107.
Jelle Klaassen the question.
Big shot this.
67.
Such a good dart, but it just didn't
Rhys
dip at the
require
end. Gave it
40.
every chance. But Robinson seems to have all
Game,
the
shot,
pieces
and a match
to
for
get
Rhys
this
Robinson.
done. He wins by 4 legs to 2. It was a really good performance. You can see that he averaged over 90. Klaassen did have enough attempts, as you can see on the right-hand side. 2 out of 10, but ultimately he didn't find enough on the outer ring to make Rhys pay. When we come back, Barry Van Peer will take on Andy Bolton for the 4th time this week.
Barry
Goes to
require
any sort of
106.
aiming technique here. Double 16.
Game shot on the first
That's more
leg.
like it.
Barry Van Peer.
Very, very clean and tidy, that leg. 50.
Double top has not been his friend this week.
Oh, wow, Nico.
No
How does
way.
he get around that?
I think he's got to go the other way. Oh, that's an
Game,
amazing
shot,
dart.
And a match.
When you
Barry
consider
Van
it is
Peer.
to win the match as well. A really, really good performance. Averaged over 93 with 4 hits from 9. They've had some real scraps this week. And they're having words at the end of it because of the last dart. But Berry gets it by 4 legs to 3 thanks to double 10 that really has been his ally over the last couple of days. All of the hilarity aside, this is a huge shot for Patrick. He was
Game,
way
shot,
better
and a
than his
match. Patrick
opponent
van
right
den
there.
Boogaard.
A 97.62 was an average in that contest to win by 3 legs. That is a bit of a statement. Earlier today, we didn't think his chances were that good, but now he's in second position in the table and playing beautifully. That's the end of round 4. When we come back, we will conclude with round 5 here on Thursday.
You require
To go on and
152.
do bigger and better things.
Double 16.
Game shot on the second leg. Rhys
That's
Robinson.
sweet as a nut.
It's typical of Rhys Robinson. Just when you think you've got him,
He's only 2 darts away from it.
still 2 darts away. Double 18.
Game,
Outstanding
shot,
from
and a match.
Barry Van Peer, who beats the table-topping Rhys Robinson 4-1 with a 95.84 average. A couple of 180s in there, but the finishing 4 from 7. He's finished 96 to get it done when we come back. Patrick faces off against Jelle.
That's a terrible team, isn't it? 74 incoming. And if he
Game shot
didn't
on the
get it,
fifth leg. Patrick
Jelle
van den
Klaassen might
Boogaard.
have Thursday with 4 points. That gate is closed for now.
130. Patrick,
He's
you
had 2
require
shots at it.
8.
One more visit to join the party on 8 points. Keeps moving that wire. And he moves
shot,
it
and a match.
in the
Patrick
right
van den Berg.
direction with the third dart. So it is 8 points for his efforts on Thursday. And he goes to second position in the table, narrowly behind Reece Robinson at the top. But as you can see, he had 13 attempts, just like Jelle, but they've been separated by one solitary shot in that 7-leg contest. Only one game to go, and it's a must-win game for Andy Boulton. Oh, Rene.
Game shot on the fourth
Where
leg.
has this
Rene
come from,
Idams.
Nico?
I don't know.
22.
And he requires 72.
Double 16.
Game shot.
Simplified
and a match.
the
Andy
finish.
Boulton.
And it paid dividends. A 4-3 win in the end for Andy Boulton in his first win. Match that's gone to 3 apiece. 86.07 the average. 180 apiece. Twice as many 140s for Rene. And 4 from 11 on the doubles. So as it stands, Reece Robinson will be the overnight leader. Let's get a bit of reaction from the boys on the balcony.
Thank you very much, Chris. And well, at 2-0 up to Andy Boulton, Rene Idams brings it back. He goes in front, he misses match opportunities, and Boulton manages to nick it in the end.
That's a big win for Andy. If he harbours any ambitions of getting through this group, that was a must-win game. Ultimately, I think the thing that might cost him is that it was so tight. Getting 2-0 in the lead early in the match, we're all thinking if he can get a big win, 4-1, 4-0 here, and he beats Rene again by that scoreline tomorrow, maybe there's a possibility he can put pressure on the top two, but he's got the points, minimum, but it's a very tough ask tomorrow.
Right, let's round up what we've seen today then at the Super Series. 15 games have been and gone. Remember, another 10 tonight in Group B live on Sporty Stuff TV from 10. And it's fair to say, when you look at the gold and the white on that graphic, it was a day dominated with the players on throw.
Yeah, and that's contrary to what we've seen at certain points this week, because we have seen a lot of breaks of throw. It's almost 50-50 in Group A as far as breaks of throw and legs are concerned. So it's almost comforting for the players to know that when they look at that, they'll think that they should win when they've got the darts. But sometimes it's just not that simple. There are players in this group who are leaving today thinking, well, I'm done now. But then there are others thinking, I've still got a lot of work to do.
Right, let's break the day down then. Reece Robinson went 4 from 4 on the card until he came up against Berry van Peer. Van Peer winning that final round game of the day. And Berry came up here on the balcony after, said that he was struggling just a little bit under the weather the first 3 days. But it feels like yesterday he built himself into today. And today's a new competition, really, isn't it?
It is. I think the people that come in, and it's a 3-day event, potentially, qualifying over 2 and possibly playing on Saturday. It's a very truncated format, but if you are here for the full week, just ask anybody who's played the full week. It's a real marathon. But the ability to reset at the end of Wednesday, it's a big deal. And we're going to see from Steve West and Luke Littler what they do in Group B a little bit later on. But today, obviously, for Robinson and for Berry van Peer, it's been a bit of a tonic.
As far as Reece Robinson is concerned, we were discussing at the top of the show that potentially the odds of 4-1 on him winning the group could be quite large. Some of the odds in individual matches felt quite large. And he kind of lived up to that for the full duration of the day as well today.
I think Reece played brilliantly. I think sometimes he gets caught by some of his maverick tactics, and we love to watch him for that. He's so entertaining, but sometimes he shoots himself in the foot. But he's still got the talent that we saw back in 2009, 2010 when he first came through. It's just how he uses it. It might be the biggest week of his career to date, but we just don't know which Reece is going to turn up. But today, he was very impressive.
Well, if the ball went on that ball 15 ball, I was worried about your voice.
Yeah, well, the thing is, that is a really sensible shot, because if you get the ball, you can go 15 ball. If you get the 25, you can stay on the ball 4 tops. And don't forget that Mervyn King beat Phil Taylor on a 1-1-5 going bull first. So it's not out of the ordinary, but when it comes to out of the ordinary, he is Mr. Out of the Ordinary this week, doing some fabulous stuff.
He is Mr. Maverick, and he is Mr. Top of the Table. We'll look at that in just a second. But before we do that, let's talk about Patrick van den Boogaard. We'll get the name right. Yeah. We'll get there in the end. But considering everything that happened, you know, the fact that he had to sleep in an airport overnight, he didn't arrive in the city, let alone the venue, until 10 o'clock this morning. The fact he's gone out there and won 4 out of 5, huge credit to him.
Welcome to the darting lifestyle, because every dart player who's been playing for 5 to 10 years has got a story of, I remember when I was late for this and I couldn't prepare perfectly for this. But every now and again, you are going to come up against something like this and you've already got the excuse embedded in your brain. It's whether you choose to use it or not. He didn't. That tells me something about him.
It was a bit like Tom Hanks in The Terminal, wasn't it?
Well, I hope he's not in the terminal that long. We want him to be here.
Well, that was the story of Patrick van der Buharde's day. Let's talk about Jelle Klassen, because played some good stuff, picked up some victories, but can you feel a little bit hard done by with the points tally today?
No, I don't think so. I think there was a lot of erratic darts in there from Jelle. When they were going, they looked superb. But I just spoke to Jelle, and he's got a few things going on at home. He's been moving house, I believe, so it's been quite an erratic few weeks for him. But ultimately, the darts lifestyle, throwing personal stuff in there as well as doing this, it's very, very hard to balance that. I just wonder if he can go through the card tomorrow, get those 10 points in the bank and see if that's enough. I'm not entirely sure it's going to be, though.
Because there's 3 players tied at the top on 8 points, as we can see now on the league standings. Reece Robinson, Patrick van der Buharde and Barry van Peer all on 8 points. Andy Bolton on 4 there. That was a huge last game for him to pick up that particular victory. What does he have to do tomorrow to get through? Does he have to complete the card?
Well, when you consider that you've got 3 players on 8 points, and if 2 of them get 6 tomorrow, it means that Andy's got to get 10 points with a better leg difference. Well, that sounds very realistic to me. So with that in mind, Andy has to win all 5 games. Starts with a confidence-boosting big victory over Rene Idams. Yes, it's still possible, but then after that, he's going to have to be the best version of Andy Bolton that we've seen this week.
And this is just session 1 of 2 that we're going to see today at the Super Series, because Group B gets underway tonight from 10 o'clock. And we cannot wait for this, because this could be tantalising. This is how the week shapes up. Now, in that mix tonight, you've got a man who's won a CDC title this year. You've got the defending champion of this competition. You've got Steve West, whose CV just screams of excellence. Colin Osborne, former Championship League winner. And that's about talking about the reigning WDF World Champion in Neil Duff.
I think when we're talking about current form, this is why it's so exciting. You've got explosiveness from West and from Little. You know what they're going to do. They're going to be comfortable playing tonight as well. They don't mind playing late night darts. Neither does Neil Duff. Osborne has done it here, but there's one thing missing. He hasn't won the entire thing. He's won weekly titles. He's one of the greats, if not the greatest, here at the Super Series. But there is that one thing missing. There will be pressure on him here over the next couple of days to get it done. But I'm excited to watch Danny Lauby. Why wouldn't you be? He's like lightning.
I'll tell you what, Lauby later isn't going to be slow, is it?
No, that could risk the quickest game, which is 5 minutes 48. So get your stopwatches out, everybody.
Exactly, and race back here for 10 o'clock this evening. Myself, the Asset, Chris Mason, all be with you, describing all the action from Group B. But as far as Group C is concerned, well, it's double R, Reece Robinson, who's top of the pile. We'll see you at 10.